Let's go over the outline of the SANS toolbox. The SANS toolbox is organized in terms of parts, part A, B, C. Each part contains a couple of chapters, a few chapters. Like for example, part A has neutron sources and neutron flux, which contains 4 chapters, introducing the neutron probe, neutron sources, cold neutron moderators, neutron flux on sample, and so on. Part B covers neutron scattering introduction, as well as the theory of neutron scattering, like elastic, quasi-elastic neutron scattering and so on, and coherent, incoherent, and so on. Part C covers SANS technique and instrumentation, like the SANS technique, the SANS instrument itself, then 2 components describing the loss selectors and time of flight measurements, as well as neutron error detectors, and going over some sample environments. SANS resolution and smearing has about 5 chapters. SANS instrumental resolution. Neutron focusing lenses. At NIST we have installed some neutron focusing lenses, specific wavelength, and they focus the beam, give us higher resolution. We also use gravity correcting prisms for long wavelength, neutron beam current and sparing effects. There are various data corrections and data reduction scheme. Part E, Part F, simple SANS data interpretation, like standard plots like Guinier, Perrault, Zem, and so on. Some empirical models show some typical SANS data and some SANS data from oriented samples. SANS data modeling about radius gyration, single particle form factors for particles as well as polymers, and then structure factors for polymer systems, for particulate systems, and a multi-component random phase approximation. Part H, SANS from polymers, covers polymer solutions, polymer blends, block copolymers, ternary polymer blends, and so on. Part I, SANS from complex fluids, is a nice introduction to phase diagrams for micellar systems. Then 3 complex fluids, crystalline lamellae, uronic spherical micelles, and ionic micelles, rod-like micelles. Part J, SANS in biology, is a nice introduction to cell biology here. Just in a few pages you get up to snuff here. Then 3 topics: phospholipid bilayers, from SANS from DNA, SANS from a protein complex. Part K is other SANS topics, like SANS from polymer blends under pressure, solvation in mixed solvents, polymers in mixed solvents, SANS under shear, SANS from polymeric materials, and so on. Then Part L, even lower SANS scales, where the V-SANS technique and the U-SANS instrument are described. The V-SANS technique involves 40-meter SANS with multiple collimation. The instrument is under construction at the NCNR right now. There's a gallery of SANS data images, brief history, and future prospect. There are 2 useful appendices, one of which describes useful mathematical expressions. It gathers most of the mathematical expressions used in this tutorial, the SANS toolbox. The second, elements of quantum mechanics, and a list of symbols and notation.